Are you ready to get clear on who your business serves? If you are, then you're in the right place. You're going to learn some great stuff from Clara in a minute, so we'll see you in a second. Welcome to the Heart and Mind of Business. We're your hosts. I'm Debbie Clement Large.
And I'm Clara Rose. Welcome.
Welcome. We're really excited. This is a really fantastic topic to talk about, which is who your business serves. Do you really know your avatar? Clara, I'm looking forward to really understanding some of your pearls of wisdom, because you've been in business a lot longer than I have, and you've had different types of businesses. So you've had different types of customers.
I have indeed.
Yeah.
So depending on how far back you want it to go, I could give you many stories, but today I just want to talk about the basics of it, right? Getting really clear on who you serve and why that's important. So to start with, that's about your marketing message. Like number one, if you don't have a clear understanding about who you serve, how in the world can you market to them?
Yeah.
Right? What words will you use that get the attention of the right people? Well, what ends up happening for most people is they just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Or they just spatter stuff out there all over the place, and then they have ineffective marketing. Right? Because they're not speaking to anyone in particular. They're just trying to speak to everyone, which is like mistake 101, right? That's the biggest mistake that brand new business owners make in the marketing, is that they don't have a clear message, and so they just try to market to everyone. You'll say, who's your ideal client? And they'll say, everyone. Everyone's my ideal client. And I could say the same thing, right? I help people write books, create influence. Everybody needs that, right? But then my marketing message is just very wide and very broad. So you have to stop and say, okay, who is the ideal? There's that word that means so much in this. Who's that ideal person that I want to work with? Right? Who's the best absolute fit for what it is that I do? So for me, I can narrow that down and say, entrepreneur, absolutely. They think like I think, or more like I think, because I'm an entrepreneur. I tend to attract people who are service-based. I'm service-based, and so that seems to be a natural fit for me. So an entrepreneur who's service-based. I tend to attract people who are, or work the best with people who are closer to my own age. I have children that are millennials. My children are in their 30s. And it's not like I don't communicate with them or can't communicate with them, but I communicate more effectively with people in my own age bracket. So that's a natural fit for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
The entrepreneurs who are in my age bracket tend to be the ones that I end up working with and enjoying the process the most. Now, I have worked with others, and that's the secret, right? If you find out exactly who you serve the best, who you enjoy the most, and you market to them, other people will still come. Because marketing, and you probably know this to be true, marketing is about getting them, the consumer, to self-identify as your ideal customer, right? You just say, I help people who blah, 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 right? And then they say, oh, that's me. That's me, right? That's that self-identify. And that's when marketing is gold, right? That's when it works. But until you get your language right, then nobody can say, oh, that's me. I self-identify as that, because you haven't spent the time figuring out your marketing message, which starts with, who do I serve? Who do I want to serve? I also tend to be predominantly women that I work with, but that's not 100% true. I have some clients that we have written books and they're male, but for whatever reason, I tend to attract the females closer to my age. So I have more of them in my avatar, my picture of my ideal client is a woman, right? When I say, oh, it's female entrepreneurs, my age bracket, blah, 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 that tends to be a woman, I still attract guys, right? Who want to write a book as well.
Mhm.
But it helped me to get my wording just right when I said, this is exactly who I serve, this person. Some people will even say, give that person a name, right? Your ideal avatar a name, or your ideal customer a name. Get to know them. I've even done one exercise. I wish I could remember who I could give credit to, but I can't at this moment, where we built whole lives for them, right? In the ideal avatar creation,
Yeah.
they had a name, an age, definitely a gender. Were they married? Did they have children? We built out this entire fake person,
Yeah.
because that's when messaging gets so good and so tight and so right, because you can speak to them as if they were a live human, because our customers are live humans,
Yeah. So when you were
right?
doing your mailing, when you were doing your newsletters or sending your mailing out, you had that person, then you could sort of almost
Yes.
visualize them. You kind of even knew what they looked like, or maybe what they were
Yes.
wearing. And
You spoke to them,
yeah.
right? Spoke to that one person.
um,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I'm
then it's,
go on.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, because I'm not a marketing expert. I'm kind of learning myself still. Even 5 years in, this is my 6th year, I'm still learning. But the one mistake I kept making was writing, we do this. This is what we can offer, rather than saying you can have a transformation.
Right. Right. Because guess what? It's not about you.
Exactly. And it's really easy to do that, to say, well, this is
Mhm.
what we offer.
Yes.
This is who I help. But instead of
Right.
saying, you will experience this, or this is where you likely are, or so using
Right.
lots of you words rather than we words.
Benefit driven,
I
right?
find
Benefit driven marketing messages. Otherwise, if we're busy saying we do this and we do that, and while we may sound impressive to some, how does somebody else self-identify with that?
exactly. Yeah, no, I
They
get that.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. You've got to be able to say, you can have this too. And someone go, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's me. I need that. I want that. So, yeah, it's not manipulation at all. Some people could go, oh, that sounds, kind of smarmy, but it's not manipulation. It's just being super clear on who do I want to serve, right? What do I want to do for them? What service do I want to offer them? How do I want to make a difference in their lives with the service that I offer? We are all in business to make money. We can't pretend that that's not true, right? We all need to make a living, but it's not just about the money, right? There's more to it than that. There's the satisfaction of making a difference. There's, all the inside stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about that all the time, that inside stuff. I tend to focus on the outside stuff, but you can't ignore the inside stuff because it's still there.
Mm. And I like what you said about really getting to know your avatar or your ideal customer. So when I did it, like using mind maps, this is who they are, this is what they're thinking, but I like
Okay.
the idea of actually getting out some colored pencils, colored pens, and a big sheet of paper, and just doing my stick men, because I can't, I'm
Yeah,
not an
because
artist.
that's it.
But that's it. But they might have this color, and like you, most of my clients are female, but not exclusively. I work with males too. Um, I tend to have a certain age bracket. Um, they tend to be professionals. Very often they're business owners, but I'm not a business coach, so I don't go for that. But actually, you could draw that out. You could see what type of car they've got. Where do they go on holiday? What are their
Yep.
fears? What do they like? And just do almost like they call it. When I worked in transformation and change, they do something called a rich picture, where you draw
Okay. Yeah.
out, and so you can see, well, what are they, what are their concerns, what are their worries, what do they want to change, and then you could think about how your product can or service can help them change. And I'm going to draw myself a nice big picture now.
Yeah, the brilliance of that is that something you can slap up on the wall, and
Mm,
whenever you're doing any marketing work at all, you can look at it and
mm,
visually see all the stuff that you won't remember as you're writing out your marketing message.
mm.
Right? That's just a great visual tool. You should have your husband draw it for you. Like, get your stick figures out, but he's
He's
a
not. Yeah.
fabulous artist. Yeah, he could draw something super cool and capture all the emotions that a stick figure might not. Just,
That that is true. I should
right?
commit him.
Yeah, yeah. Commission them to do that for you. Then their expressions could be right and some of those things, but even just getting thought bubbles above their heads so
Mm,
that you get clear on the person that you serve and the difference that your service makes. It
mm.
will help your marketing message be much tighter and cleaner, and you'll attract the right people,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing more miserable than having the wrong client. That ultimately, sometimes you just have to fire them because they're not a good fit. But if you could avoid that up front, that's much better.
Mm. So I think that's wonderful. So really get that inner landscape and even the external landscape of who that client is. Who
Hmm.
is it that's buying your product or service? And really explore what it's like to live a day in their life or even a week in their life. What goes on for them in the year? Where do they go on holiday? What sort of house do they live in? What sort of, what do they like to purchase? Where do they like to go? Who do they hang out with? Just to really get to know who that is. And I, having written fiction, I do that with when I'm writing, if I'm writing fiction, is that with a character.
Sure.
I've never done that and taken it to that level for my ideal client. So I'm going to do that. So I've learned something today. I'm really excited.
It does make a difference. It changes how you look at them
Mm,
when you almost know them so well. And maybe because I'm a writer, that's where that developed from. That you get to a point where you know them so well
yeah,
that it's like talking to a friend,
yeah.
right? So then it's easy to connect with your ideal friends because you know them so well, even though it's fictitious, right? You're still trying to attract a certain person, a certain type of person. That's a powerful way to do it. But you got to know who that is first. So get clear on who that is and what that looks like so that you attract the right people that you want to work with,
Mm.
right? The people that those interactions leave you feeling fulfilled, right? Not the ones that suck the life and the energy out of you.
Well, that is so true, and actually having the courage to say no to people, especially early on when you want the money,
Right. When you're trying to pay the rent.
when you but it pays off dividends when you have that courage to think no, actually,
Yeah.
is that's going to be more painful than it is
Yep.
all good coming out of that. Wow, this has been a fantastic conversation today.
Good
I've
stuff.
really enjoyed this. Yeah. So get your pens and paper at the ready, everyone, and get ready to do something, really, really understand, really find out, discover, explore, um, even having a conversation with them. Now, of course, they're not there, but a bit like, when you're a child and you have your imaginary friend,
Right.
imagine that person is really there. And yeah. Oh, so I think you could have a lot of fun with that.
Good stuff.
So please, please, please please,
Excuse me.
and comment. We want to hear what you've done. Have you actually done the drawings? Have you written down your bio of that person? How have you explored who they are and what they want from you? And have fun with it.
Yes, I agree.
So please
Okay.
subscribe and share, and we look forward to sharing some more wonderful pearls of wisdom next week. Have a fantastic week.
Take care.